Good morning, everybody. Good morning, humans, as Pavel at Psychoactivo says. Hello, guys. Um, my name is Brian Steppe. I'm an astrologer in Santa Fe, and I want to present this video, which is a continuation of what I did yesterday, kind of getting psyched about raising consciousness about future astrological alignments. And particularly, it's interesting right now because today and yesterday there was huge um, protests and revolts across the world. The United States, particularly against Trump, is shaking up the trade barriers and tariffs. And again, this is something that can be put into the context of major astrological alignments. And if we all can think about it and put it into our perspective, our daily perspective, that we can take these waves in a way where we don't think it's the end of the world. So in the past, for the past 2,000 years, at least in the West, Judeo-Christian, there's a apocalyptic mindset sometimes that the end of the world is coming soon. And with these shifts that Trump's executive orders and his tariffs has sent shockwaves across the world, there's a sense that this is the end of the world. But actually, it's just part of cycles. It's part of human cycles. And if we pay attention to it, because we have more technology to where we can bring it into our awareness every day with it's at our fingertips, then I think it can lead to less panic and more calmness, less anxiety. So my name is Brian Steppe. I'm an astrologer in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and you can get me at briansteppe.com if you want to learn more about me. I always want to acknowledge Rick Tarnas, one of my teachers, and his groundbreaking books, Cosmos and Psyche. So a lot of my talks are related to ideas that he put forth revolutionarily in this book. It was published in 2006. He is a renowned astrologer. I just want to put out that he was a skeptic of astrology when he was at Harvard in the 1960s. When he got to Esalen, he decided to look into it related to his research with his psychotherapy work with Stan Grof, and became a convert. Now he's one of the leading astrologers in the world. And so, again, it's about raising awareness. So consciousness. In other words, this is in 2046, Uranus and Pluto are going to come into an opposition, 180-degree opposition, and the same kind of configuration that was happening in the French Revolution. And that's in 2046, about 20 years. But if we raise our consciousness and we think about that and put it into our daily thoughts, I think that we can use this knowledge to grow and build what we want to happen during that period. So this is a shift in astrological influence. Usually we look at the past. We're not sure what's going to happen in the future, but we're really looking at the past, or looking at the present, and but I want to look ahead and then kind of get it into our consciousness. That's my vision. And again, this is about Uranus Pluto. alignment in 2046. Uranus is about innovation and revolution. Pluto is transformation and rebirth. And when these planets are in quadrature alignment in history, they explode into human culture as personal political revolutions, transformations, and evolutionary leaps. And so I want to bring into this video a significant fact, which is Pluto is now in Aquarius, and astrologers are talking all over the world that this is, it takes about 248 years or 250 years for Pluto to return to the same place it was. And so 250 years ago, that's exactly when the United States was developing its constitution. And Pluto is now at that same place in the sky that it was when we formed our constitution. And now we're going through a lot of gyrations in our institutions and our government about what should we do about our constitution? Is it working? Anyway, and it entered Aquarius in March of 2023. And then it went back into Capricorn, but now it's in Aquarius for good, or for the next 20 years. So that's 2023 until its final shift out of Aquarius will be in 2044, which is a time when Uranus will be moving into 10 or 15 degrees of an exact opposition to Pluto in 2044, which is 19 years. So 19 years, Pluto is going to be going through Aquarius for the next 19 years. Some of those significations are Aquarius is about computers, the internet, robots, and just revolution. I mean, Aquarius, the first decan of Aquarius, according to Austin Coppock in his book 36 Faces, I encourage you to get. He shows that first 10 degrees of Aquarius are about people who are pushing ahead, forging away from the collective, different ideas, new ideas. Anyway, and Pluto is going to be going through Aquarius for the next 20 years. So that's something to keep in mind. And then again, the French Revolution in 1792, Uranus and Pluto were at a 180-degree opposition, and in the 60s, they were in a conjunction. So I kind of wanted to give some education, some ideas about quadrature alignments through history, about what is a quadrature alignment in astrology. And that has to do with how the planets are aligned with each other, either in conjunction, 90-degree square, 180-degree opposition. And so these are some of the the times when Uranus and Pluto were in a conjunction together, 1597, 1710, 1850, 1965. I'm going to be going over more about 1965 and oppositions in 1648, 1792, 1901, 2046. And so I'll be talking more about 1792, 1965, 2046. I did want to bring in just 1901. Uranus and Pluto were in opposition, and I've been studying Einstein's theories. This is just about when he came into theories of relativity and just broke science open with his theories of energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. Anyway, so those are just some ideas. And these are squares, which I want to go through a bunch of these, but I'm focusing now on the conjunction in 1965, the opposition of 1792, and then the future one to think in 20 years, Hope most of us are going to be alive in 20 years, and we can keep that in our thoughts. And so, as far as sacred geometry is concerned, the ancients paid attention to sacred geography. And so, a conjunction, which what happened in 1965, when this is Uranus here, you can see my cursor, and Pluto were together in the sky. It's a conjunction. Well, sacred geometry is, this represents unity, initiation, and the seed of potential. It's when the seed is planted, aligning with ancient sacred geometry's depiction of the point or monad as a source of creation. So that was like in the 60s, were really a seed. The revolutions going on at that time, civil rights, human rights, gay rights, women's rights, independence movements. It was a seed. And then that was the conjunction of 1965. And then the opposition, which happened in 1792 in France. This is Uranus, Virgo, and then Pluto, not exact there, but was the opposition, 1792 in Aquarius. So actually, Uranus would have been in Leo here, just a little bit earlier. But there's an opposition. And an opposition symbolizes polarity, balance, confrontation between opposites. This was the people against the king and overthrew the king. Resonates with sacred geometry's concept of duality and balance depicted by the line segment connecting two opposing points, embodying dynamic equilibrium. So this is the chart of the French Revolution. Actually, when the monarchy fell, 1792, Uranus is in Leo, and this is a 180-degree aspect. That's the, and then the square is also associated with challenge. This is a 90-degree aspect. So in 2012, there was a square. It's a challenge, friction, growth through tension, reflects sacred geometry's representation of the square, symbolizing stability and resistance for growth. So this is the square. When we go to the conjunction is the seed, say an example is a plant, the seed, and then when it starts to grow, when it gets to the square, it is symbolized as it's symbolized as the budding plant trying to break through out of the ground, and sometimes it has to fight for its life at that time. And so in 2012, that was what was happening with a lot of the seed ideas and movements that were seeded in the 60s. And with each cycle through history, there's a seed planet, and then with the conjunction, square, opposition, square, there's like a cycle of innovation, growth, and that's how human cultural evolution proceeds. And in with the 2012, Kinney Asubal, Max Diarman, and Theo Badashi, and Rick Tarnas developed a movie, Changing of the Gods, about the square time of 2012. It was finally put out in 2022. This is the trailer, if you would like to watch Changing of the Gods. And again, I am trying to raise consciousness that this opposition in 2046 is going to happen. That's 21 years, but like 5 years before, 5 years after, events will begin to manifest that have the same energy as the French Revolution in the 60s. So trying to raise consciousness about that. And so the French Revolution, just some ideas about what happened and about some of the energies that will manifest. Not that they don't, not that they all go away. They're here now, but they just culminate in these times. In 2046, it's really going to culminate. And so in the French Revolution, the themes were, well, the Declaration of the Rights of Man. This was groundbreaking about how people are equal and should be treated the same, not the aristocracy above the peasants. It's like one man, one vote. Overthrow the monarchy, aristocratic privilege. Introduction of principles based on merit, talent, and education. Early articulations of equality, liberty, and fraternity. Again, in 2046, these are going to bubble up again. And we can put that into our consciousness now and work toward that time so that we can constructively confront that time. So that's the French Revolution. In the 60s, there were civil rights movements advocating equality across race and gender. There was pushback against established institutions, authority, and traditional power dynamics. There's increased awareness and acceptance of diverse identities and push towards social equality. I think of that because of the protests yesterday across the United States. It was very significant. The point I bring out is that we have a man in power who was elected by the majority of the people. So the majority of the people have put our country in his hands, and he's acting. He's going forward. Not that we can't fight against it, but it's part of the cycle of history, of human culture, and we can still hold on to all our ideals and try to manifest them. But knowing that in 2046, there's going to be a culmination of energy. And one of the main things as I studied with Rick Tarnas was, why can't we use this now for the future? Like in 1792, they had the French Revolution. What about if in 1770 there was people in academia or educated people, astrologers who knew in the early 1790s, some energies are going to manifest having to do with revolution. Let's prepare for that. Get things in place. The 60s exploded with new music, new culture, civil rights, women's rights, gay rights. What if after World War II, just we knew that this time was coming in the 60s and we could prepare for that? Well, that's what I want to do with this series of YouTube videos, and keep it in our consciousness that in 2046, there's going to be a significant alignment, just like what happened in the French Revolution in the 60s. And we can use that now. This is how I see human cultural evolution advancing. That I'm a positive, I'm an optimistic. People that get really negative right now, like the United States is going to go down the tubes, and the whole world maybe because of environment and everything. I'm more optimistic. I think that we're going to use our knowledge and consciousness that we've learned for the last million years and advanced. And this is part of it. Astrology for me is part of that advanced knowledge. So again, this is going to be this is the second of a series where I'm going to try to raise consciousness about various astrological alignments and how they affect history and how we can consciously engage that instead of just reacting. And so the advance of astrology is that we have instantaneous knowledge of all our future planetary alignments. Well, just this fact that I'm putting this YouTube video, and within an hour, Somebody can be watching it in Antarctica, in Moscow, in Hanoi, all over the world. We did not have this, 20 years, 30 years ago. And we can use all of this as a tool. And if we keep this awareness, this consciousness, that in 2046, there's going to be an alignment, just like what happened in the 60s or similar energies and the French Revolution. And not that there's other times, I showed you different conjunctions, but I wanted to focus on those at this time, but I'll hit the others later. And actually, Chris Brennan on the astrology podcast, he's gone through a lot of that. I encourage you to watch those. Nick Dagan Best, they just did an unbelievable presentation about Saturn Neptune through history, and they've done Uranus through history. And I intend to be part of that, raising consciousness about that, so that we can use it as we go forward in the future. So you integrate this awareness into our personal and collective decisions, and it can lead to constructive use of cosmic themes we know will burst forth in the years surrounding 2046. And with that, concludes the video. My name is Brian Steppe, briansteppe.com if you're interested. And this is the second of a series of presentations, which will focus on future planetary alignments, including Saturn, Neptune, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, Uranus, as well as Uranus and Pluto. So thank you very much.